Jack, I'm going to need a little weed for this one. Okay. Here you go. Thank you.
Aloha nerds, and welcome back to another episode of TheSalawag's Why It's Great Gut Reaction. I'm your host, TheSalawag, and you did not ask for more. Thank you. So, I wanted to tell you about two great shows I've just started watching. The first is Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. Wow. Okay. I did not know this guy's name, but a friend had recommended to me, probably multiple friends have recommended to me, the original Star Wars Clone Wars done by Genndy Tartakovsky, the guy who made Samurai Jack. Fans of that would know that. Fans of Samurai Jack would definitely love his take on Star Wars The Clone Wars, which was actually a perfect bridge between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. A perfect bridge, perfect storytelling. It's the way you wanted the prequels to be done in the first place. Check out that. That's just a quickie review on that. Great show. But Primal, I've been seeing ads for Primal the last few months, and finally I caught it, and it was just became incredibly addicted to it. I was just flipping through the channels, as rarely happens these days in the internet age, and it was just on this episode of a Neanderthal-like man, fighting off gigantic buzzards, preventing them from eating a dying T-Rex, and he just spends an entire episode clawing and digging and fighting to save this T-Rex, who's clearly like a friend to him in some kind of way. So it's a really that first episode was amazing because it was all visual, no dialogue, and the animation style, which is similar to Samurai Jack's, was excellent. The visual storytelling was perfect. The characters were clear and great. The T-Rex kind of draws the line between being a dog and a best friend, and a very man with his best friend kind of way. So a very great archetype that the story is draped around. But we also get sorcerers and other dinosaurs and killers, and there's a lot of incredible battles, and the animation style is so perfect, and the storytelling, like I said, visual storytelling. So many shows today, big name shows, are driven by dialogue that are, at the end of the day, pretentious farts that you just wish you could use a tissue to wipe out of your ears. But this show is entirely visual, and all character and all emotion, and it's beautiful, and it's a perfect tapestry. But really, what motivated me to get into this was I wanted to tell you about uh, Michael Jai White's Black Dynamite cartoon. I know it's been out for a while, but I finally saw that again, just flipping the channels for some reason. And I thought that was incredible. I saw there's these ninjas attacking a town, and then this episode in particular was about a very abusive child, Michael Jackson, where they flip the real life story of Michael Jackson, who faced incredible pressure and punishment from being raised in order to become the star that he was. But in this episode, Michael Jackson is the perpetrator. Child Michael Jackson in the 70s is the perpetrator of violence, and he treats his own family like his own prostitutes or something like that. He's like a really evil pimp, and Black Dynamite's got to set him straight. And that was awesome. That was just awesome. It's like a joke you would hear in a conversation told in the perfect way as an episode of television. I really loved. I think what I'm getting into now is it's hard for me to, although you clearly see behind me I'm a nerd. It's been hard for me to get into current nerdy television. I think current nerdy television, much like a lot of the movies, comes off as fan fiction. It gets just kind of tedious and exhausting to see some fan's idea of what a story should be. I think, I hate saying this because I love J.J. Abrams' work, but in many ways the sequel trilogy to Star Wars feels a lot like fan fiction. Star Trek Discovery and Picard feels like a fan who just had their own idea, and that's not really the story that would come out of the creator. But, you know, you get stuff like this, which is just like, each one is kind of original in its own way, even though Black Dynamite is ripped off of blaxploitation and all that. It's still kind of got its own voice and has that sense of like a conversation you would really have, or a sense of a believable reality within the story. Or even if it's like ridiculous, like a man and a T-Rex becoming best friends, or a child being the worst abuser of many people and needing to be stopped by by Michael Jai White. So Michael Jai White's gotta protect you, and I believe he will. I believe if any of you are being abused by a psychotic 10-year-old, Michael Jai White can save you as Black Dynamite. But man, that just watching that one episode makes me want to buy the movie again. I remember when that came out. It was a lot of fun to watch the first time. And Michael Jai White is frickin' Spawn, so you got to give Spawn a chance, you know. So it took me a long time to get to it, but I'm finally recommending to you Black Dynamite, Star Wars: The Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky, and Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. All three of these are great shows, really great television, really great storytelling. Even with the goofiness of Black Dynamite, I felt like the storytelling was perfect. I mean, comedy is not just about having some kind of funny punchline. It really is about good storytelling, so that you care about the person who the jokes are being aimed at, so that when worse things or good things happen to them, you're happy about it. And I think all three of these shows nail that visual storytelling, because you see the story of abuse in this episode of Black Dynamite, where the person being abused has a story, and although it's kind of familiar, they use the familiar tropes to make you sympathize with the character, but he is a silly ass character, and he gets shot in the ass for Michael Jackson, little abusive Michael Jackson. Anyway, great stuff, great time. I'm recommending all three of those shows. Yeah, go check it out. That's enough. Did I rant too much or too little? I don't care. Later. Oh yeah, don't subscribe, and don't comment. Bye.